It's Monday, May 21st, 2007. There are 533 days left until the 2008 presidential election. It's noon in New York, 9 a.m. on the West Coast. I'm Will, and this is Political Lunch. Welcome back to Political Lunch. Just as our president likes to remind us that he doesn't run this country according to polling data, we here at The Lunch try not to respond to every new presidential poll that comes out. There's so much that can change this far from the election. That being said, today is all about the polls, and not just any poll, the Des Moines Register poll. This is Iowa, people. This is blood sport. And while no one outside of Iowa understands how the caucus process actually works, today is very good news for Mitt Romney and John Edwards, both of whom are enjoying their healthiest leads of the season. On the GOP side, these latest numbers are further confirmation that the first 4 months of 2007 have been downright magic for Mitt Romney. A Strategic Visions poll in January of this year put Romney a distant fourth behind McCain, Giuliani, and even behind Newt Gingrich, who isn't even in the race yet. But what a difference 4 months make. The Des Moines Register poll out today puts Romney at 30%, a full 12 points ahead of John McCain, his nearest challenger. Obviously, this means it's the worst news for Rudy Giuliani, who up until this point was the presumed frontrunner. For the Democrats, it's all John Edwards all the time. The former North Carolina senator is enjoying his first healthy lead of the season, with a 6-point gap between Edwards and his nearest challenger, Barack Obama, and an 8-point lead over Senator Hillary Clinton. Again, it's Clinton, the perceived frontrunner, who will be taking this news the hardest. Now, it's worth noting that Iowa and Senator Clinton have had a lukewarm relationship at best, at least according to the polls. In December 2006, 5 months ago, Hillary was at just 10% in Iowa, according to a KCCI poll. 1 month later, that Strategic Visions poll I mentioned earlier put Clinton at 15%, still behind former Iowa Governor Tom Vilsack, who isn't even in the race anymore. In early April, a University of Iowa poll put Clinton on top, but just barely. And last week, a Zogby poll had Clinton once again trailing John Edwards, if by a much smaller margin than today's poll. But the pollsters didn't just stop at the numbers. It's issues that really matter to voters, or at least we hope. And there were some interesting results in the Register survey of what really matters to Republican and Democratic voters. National security and terrorism were the most important issues for Republican voters, followed by faith and values. Iraq and the war was clearly the most important topic for Democratic voters, followed by international relations, the economy, healthcare, and education. Now, the greatest spread on the issues, according to party, was on the topic of global warming. 28% of Democrats found global warming a priority, while just 5% of Republicans felt the same way. One final subject covered by the poll out today is the question of what voters pay attention to when choosing a candidate. The Democrats want a candidate who will work well with other world leaders, while the Republicans want a candidate who feels the same way they do on social issues such as abortion and gay marriage. Now, again, let me remind you, there are over 500 days left until the presidential election. So Iowa is important, but especially with all this talk of front-loading the primary season, it's becoming less so. Winning in Iowa certainly helps on the road to the White House. But if you don't win in Iowa, there's always New Hampshire, South Carolina, California, Florida. Thanks for joining us for this Monday episode of Political Lunch. We'll be back on Wednesday. We've got some great guest hosts this week. Hope you'll tune in. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.